You're welcome to this video. Today I'm going to show you how to install Blender 4.2 on your system. So first thing, we go to Google and search for Blender. So the website is blender.org. So here we have the download version 4.1.1 and version 4.2. So let's just go to the website. So we're going to click on download. And we can choose the version we want to download. Here I want to install this on Windows, so I'm going to choose Windows installer. So Blender is an open source, meaning it's free. So I'll choose a location where I want to save this and say save. Now I have a version already downloaded, so I won't be saving again. So I'll just go and open the one I downloaded. So like I said, Blender is an open source, meaning it's free to use, so you can easily donate if you wish to. Here is the downloaded Blender. So I'm going to right click and say open with Windows installer. So it says welcome to Blender Setup Wizard. So I'm going to click on next. I have to accept, click on next. So this is a location. If you want to install Blender on another drive, you click on browse and select you click on browse and select the drive. Here it will be installed on C drive. Let's say I want to install this on D drive. I click on browse. Then here I'm going to change this C to D and delete the D and delete the C, and I'll say okay. So by doing this, Blender will be installed on drive D or any drive I select here. I'm going to revert this because I want to install it on drive C. So I go back and replace with C, and I say okay, and I can check the disk usage. On drive C, I have available 397 GB. Blender requires 1596 MB to be installed, so I'm good to go. So coming back here, now here we have these options here. This is the Blender and this is the libraries. In case I don't want to install these libraries for any reasons, I'm going to turn it off here and the libraries will not be installed. I'm going to leave it at default. So I say next and I click on install. I'm going to complete the installation by clicking finish. So let's go to start. And here is Blender 4.2. I'm going to click on it. And we are presented with this. So here we can choose the language. Here you can choose the theme. So all the settings here can be adjusted later, so just say continue. So these are the things you can do with Blender: 2D animation, sculpting, VFX, and video editing. So here you have the, over this side, getting started, we have the manual, tutorials, and communities, and the Blender website. And you can also check what is new. So I can get rid of this by clicking out, and this is Blender. If you want to set anything in Blender, you have to go to edit, preference, and here is where you make your adjustments or settings. So if you are subscribed to this channel, I'm going to start a new Blender series in the future. If you don't want to miss that series, kindly subscribe so that when I kick off with the series, you will be notified each time I drop a new video. Now, I know Blender is a great open source software, but this is where I have issues with Blender. Blender doesn't respond always. That is where I have issues with Blender. So I'm going to look at Blender requirements. Let's see if my system meets the requirement. So I'm still on Blender website, and I go down to requirements. And it says Blender is cross-platform. It runs on every major operating system. Okay, now here is a system requirement for Windows. Let's look at recommended. We have OS Windows 8 and above, CPU 4 cores, then RAM 8 GB, then GPU 2 GB VRAM with OpenGL 4.3, and we have NVIDIA GeForce 400 and newer. So actually my system doesn't meet this requirement. So here is a comparison. It says RAM here 8 and I have 24 here. This is Windows 8 and this is Windows 11. Now this is NVIDIA GeForce, and what I have here is Intel UHD graphics. So I'm not in a position to compare or know why Blender is not always responding. So each time I want to do some heavy task, I'm going to see non-responding here. But Cinema 4D doesn't do that on this same configuration. So both Cinema 4D and Blender are great 3D software, but I finally settled for Cinema 4D because I tried both Blender. I tried Blender first before going to Cinema 4D, but when I got to Cinema 4D, I got stuck because of its simplicity. So if you stay with me on this channel, I'm going to be showing you the difference between Blender and Cinema 4D. Here is Cinema 4D. The interface is so simple and precise. You can place a cube here and render without much issue. I get some delay on Blender, which I don't like. So this is where I'll be stopping this video. I will see you on the next one. Now if you want to learn how to install Cinema 4D, just follow the same process. Just right click and run as administrator, and it's a straightforward process. is going to run, and you're going to be welcome with this interface when you run Cinema 4D.